What is up, guys, and welcome back to the channel. My name is Josh, and today we are going to talk about all the things E-moto that we have seen at the AIM Expo here in Vegas for 2025. So before we get started today, I want to thank the sponsor of this video and every video you will see here on the channel, and that is Electric Moto. Electric Moto is where you'll be able to find every video specific to each bike that we talk about today over on the Electric Moto YouTube channel. I will put the link in the description so you can click that and go subscribe over there. Also, I will put a discount code so you can save 10% on anything that you buy off of your E-moto. That will be in the description as well. So the first bike that I want to talk about today is from Strix Moto. This is a real enduro style bike. This is comparable to what you would see in like the 450 class. It is a monster with a 37-inch seat height. It is hard to get on this bike, but it boasts 95 horsepower, which is above the 80 horsepower that we have seen from Stark. Now, it's controllable. The people that have ridden this bike have told me that this bike is very controllable on the trail because there are multiple maps and tons of tuning options that come in the display. It comes equipped with an Olin shock and KYB front forks. It has Excel wheels on it right out of the box. This bike is a monster. This is not something that I would probably ever get myself, but just seeing this bike come to the market for what a lot of people think is kind of missing. This would not be your small mid-size style bike like an Ultra Bee. This would be more of a 450 style bike, and it is a monster. It comes completely kitted with everything that you need. It says you get about an 85-minute ride time. Now, I'm sure that depends on your temperature, it depends on the altitude, and it also depends on how hard you ride the bike, but the Strix enduro bike is an absolute monster, and this is one to look out for. It's coming straight from Austria, which means it's definitely been built in a way that can take a beating. And it also comes, which is not released yet, and this bike still isn't released yet, but it does come with the ability to buy a track system directly from Strix, so you don't have to do any middleman marketing and try to find a real snow style track system with a ski on the front. That will be available also on the site at some point in the near future. But this bike is by far, for me, one of the best bikes that I have seen, and it is built to withstand anything that you can throw at it. Up next is one that we have seen before many times, but the reason I think this bike, this E-moto, is important to mention is because it has been around for a while. I know the Alta Sigma just came onto the market, but the Ventus One, in my opinion, is an Alta Sigma killer. The only thing that the Ventus One does not have that it absolutely needs is .4 brakes. It does have mineral oil mountain bike style brakes, and with an 80-mile-an-hour top speed, that is not going to work. So that is our biggest apprehension on this bike. But you have a 72-volt, 50-amp-hour battery, which is very comparable to what you see in the Alta Sigma. And quite honestly, for the value and what you can get, these bikes are ready to ship today. You can get them on Electric Moto's site if you're interested in a Ventus One. This thing rips right out of the box. The bike that we're going to be testing, and we're taking back with us, has a whole host of new suspension systems on it. It has a Nibby suspension with a bunch of Nibby aftermarket components, which is something you will start to see probably more and more common. But this bike is coming home with us because we think, in our personal opinion, that if you're comparing this to an Alta Sigma, we know that the Alta Sigma has had a problem or two. It's been hard to get for people, but the Ventus One is its direct competitor, in my opinion, in the small size moto market, and you can pick up this bike immediately and it'll ship to your door in 3 to 5 days. So we'll give you some more honest reviews and some honest feedback on the Electric Moto YouTube channel, but this bike so far has impressed us, and we're excited to get this back to the garage. Another bike on the list is one that you are probably going to start seeing a lot of. It is definitely one that we are super interested to get our hands on and test on the Electric Moto channel, but this bike is the Arctic Cat XE Pro. The XE Pro has a top speed of 63 miles an hour, 72 volt, 55 amp hour battery, and a seat height of 32.5 inches. So it fits in with that middle of the road, almost Ultra Bee size E-moto. Now it comes with KKE forks and KKE shocks and .4 brakes, which we know is absolutely imperative when you start pushing that 55, 60, 65 mile an hour mark. It is something that has been absolutely necessary for us to be able to stop these bikes. It's great that you can make them go extremely fast, and everybody wants a really fast bike, but at the same time, slowing them down means stopping before you hit a boulder in our case. So it's important that we can come to a stop as quickly as possible. Now, this bike is going to be one that is going to be priced as well in the middle of the market. I do not have a price for this bike yet, but we will be showcasing this bike in a complete video that you can watch on the Electric Moto channel. We are just talking about all the bikes today that have shown us that this market is evolving well beyond what other people expected it to, and a lot of people are jumping into this. So it's fun to see that these bikes are continuously coming and continuing to give customers exactly what they're asking for. No bike is perfect, but the Arctic Cat XE Pro is definitely one to keep an eye on, and Arctic Cat has a whole lineup of bikes. Now, for me, I know Arctic Cat from the snowmobile world. I did not really know they did E-motos. I have seen them before, I have talked about them, but I never had my hands on one. And from just like a fit and finish perspective, these bikes look really good. They look like they can compete with all of the big brands that we know and love. So I'm interested to see where this bike comes into the market, and I'm interested to see who decides to pick this up. A lot of the fitment is all the same. So like your wheels, your tires, your pegs, a lot of these brands and companies are all bringing the same style of stuff to their bikes. That way the aftermarket support is there immediately, because that's one problem, especially with the 3.0 from E-Ride Pro. The wheels and tire situation is going to take time to sort out, and everybody wants to do wheels and tires. So it's something that, in my opinion, the manufacturers need to kind of keep an eye on. I know they want to be different. I know they want to be unique. But at the same time, it's important for customers to be able to outfit these bikes the second that they get them. So for them and for me, it's definitely important that we have that ability right when we get the bike. Another bike that I do not have a ton of information on yet is going to be the Sur-ron Serpent 96 volt monster. This bike is fitting right in with the Ultra Bee market in terms of its size and weight, but it has a 96 volt battery as opposed to a 72 volt battery. So the power output that you can expect to get from this absolute beast is much different than other bikes on the market. They have been pretty tight-lipped about the information, because this bike for me is one of the most attractive, because it's the style of bike and the size of bike that I usually ride. My Ultra Bee is pretty much the same exact size, same exact weight, definitely a lot slower, and it doesn't have the ability to push as much power as the Sur-ron Serpent, the 96 volt. I don't know what they're going to call this bike, and we have a full detailed review that's going to be on Electric Moto channel of this bike specifically, but I am incredibly impressed that somebody has decided to take the mid-size E-moto market and blow it out of the water. My hope is that the Cirrus suspension will be able to retrofit to the from the Sur-ron Ultra Bee to the 96 volt Sur-ron Serpent, because that would be a game changer. I think that's always something that everyone needs to keep in mind, is there's a lot of aftermarket parts, just like I mentioned previously, and being able to fit your bike with aftermarket parts the second that you get it is what keeps these bikes moving. If you can't do that, then you're going to miss out on a lot of customers. So I don't have many specifics on this bike yet, but a 96 volt mid-size E-moto is going to rip, and I am stoked to get my hands on one. It's not coming until probably the end of March or the middle of April, but it's definitely something to watch out for if you're that mid-size E-moto rider. All right, enough about it. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, and I have all the specs here for the 2025 Sur-ron Ultra Bee. Now, for me, this is the bike I love. This is my favorite bike. This is the perfect bike for me, and I would really like for myself to be able to get a 2025 and outfit that bike specifically for the track and continue to ride my Ultra Bee the way I ride it on trails, the way it's tuned and the way it's set up. Now, as we just spoke about the 96 volt Serpent, we have a 74 volt 60 amp hour battery on the Sur-ron Ultra Bee. Now that is a step up. There's also 4 riding modes this time. We have a Eco, Daily, Sport, Crawl, Reverse, and Turbo. So they are definitely listening to the fact that they need to increase the power. Now, from my understanding, the motor's the same, the battery voltage is slightly different, you are bumping up to a 60 amp hour battery versus a 55 amp hour battery, I believe is what comes in the current version Ultra Bee, which is a step in the right direction. But in my opinion, they're still playing from behind, and they are the innovators of this market. So I would really like to see Sur-ron Ultra Bee and Sur-ron as a company step up their game and start pushing real power that people are asking for. Now, all that said, this bike is the bike that I want simply because I'm so comfortable on it and I really like the way that it rides. I think it's the perfect footprint for this market. Too much faster or too much more power, you know, I'm not sure how I'm gonna like a 96 volt super ripper like the Sur-ron Serpent, but at the same time, this bike is going to be solid. We know Sur-ron has an they have an awesome customer base. And they offer great bikes, but I would like to see a little bit more from them in terms of the Ultra Bee, because from my understanding, it's just been a tune to the motor and a tune to the controller to make it go faster, which means that they could have done this all along in the first place, but that's besides the point. The 2025 Ultra Bee does come in extra colors. We have a full review going up on that bike on Electric Moto. I know I keep saying that, but it's something that I want you guys to know so you can go watch these specific videos if you're interested in a specific bike. So this style of content is a little bit different than what I usually do, but as I dive into the E-moto market, I figure this is what I do, this is what I'm doing. So I bring you guys along for that. If you like this style of content or you like this informational content, please leave a comment, share this video with somebody who wants to know about the 2025 E-moto market. And we are going to finish up our weekend and get the heck out of Vegas because it has been a long 3 days. So I will see you guys on the next one.